President Trump is also defending his plan to accept a $400 million jumbo jet from Qatar's royal family.
It was not gifted to the president himself. That would be a bribe. He has made it very clear he is not accepting a bribe.
It's so amazing to see them try and turn this into a scandal.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you look to your left, we've got the mainstream media trying to make a scandal out of nothing. So why is the left trying to cockpit block our favorite president? Well, I've been watching Fox News for 747 hours straight, and I'm ready to Fox-plain why it would be more scandalous not to accept a free jet from Qatar.
Buckle up. Desi Lydic just turned political satire into a high-speed chaos show loaded with comedy. This isn't gentle teasing. It's rapid-fire punchlines, relentless shade, and verbal demolition so intense it feels like Congress would need emotional support after watching. She targets Trump and Melania without hesitation, leaving no room to dodge the heat. What exactly did she say? Why did she hit so hard? And how did it all become brutally entertaining? Stick around. This meltdown unfolds like a perfectly timed masterpiece in real time.
Donald Trump has been obsessed with making Canada the 51st state ever since he found out Epstein Island was not eligible. Well, today, Canada's new prime minister came to the White House, which gave Donald Trump an opportunity to make his proposal.
She's out. She's gone. She's out. She's got a plan in place. She's like holding on by a thread. I'm not worried about her. She's going to be fine, but she cannot wait to get...
Desi Lydic enters the scene with the calm assurance of someone fully aware she's about to deliver a nuclear-level roast. She moves like the royalty of sarcasm, casually sipping coffee that tastes equal parts caffeine and quiet pettiness. There's no warm-up, no disclaimers, no soft landing. No one is safe, only sharp, precise mockery poised to strike the moment she speaks, leaving the audience bracing for every perfectly timed, devastating jab.
Really feels like it's spiraling out of control. It seems like the smart move is to back off this whole thing, but Trump's team has been adamant that they will stay the course.
This is not a negotiation.
It's not the kind of thing you can negotiate away.
I don't think there's any chance that President Trump's gonna...
Wow, Melania won just a year after her husband won the exact same award? What are the chances? What?
Trump becomes the immediate focus, a gold-plated statue of ego, overconfidence, and an insatiable need for attention. Desi Lydic dismantles his public image like a mechanic taking apart an engine, but instead of repairing it, she highlights every flaw with theatrical flair and razor-sharp clarity, leaving no imperfection unexposed.
We're all just kind of hanging on for dear life at this point. The first go-round, it was obviously intense, and, going into it, we all had a lot of feelings about it. I would say that the news cycle picked up pretty significantly the first time that he was in office. Those 4 years did feel like a bit of an emotional roller coaster, and that the news cycle was constantly turning over. But now it just feels like it's been multiplied by 1,000.
In Desi Lydic's roast, Trump transforms into a walking cartoon, a character who demands constant praise just to exist. Every scene must revolve around him, every moment reward him simply for breathing. His grand speeches, exaggerated hand gestures, and endless self-celebration become prime targets. She dissects these antics with the precision of a judge reviewing the longest audition in history, for a trophy no one knew existed, let alone wanted, turning his performance into pure comedic material.
Just think about what happened here. America voted this guy out in 2020, and what has he done since then? He tried to overthrow the government. He was convicted of 34 felonies. He spent an entire campaign promising vengeance against his enemies. And if you're wondering who, after all of that, would want to back him up, well, buckle up. It's a long list.
The former president winning with a coalition driven by white voters, men, and first-time voters.
Young men in union households.
Those older voters.
Voters aged 45 to 64.
Those young...
Desi Lydic paints Trump as almost unreal, a man who treats applause like oxygen and interprets silence as oppression. Any attention not directed at him feels like a personal insult. He is portrayed as a towering insecurity masquerading as confidence, an unstoppable engine fueled by grudges and constant validation. Even the word tariffs becomes less about policy and more a pretext to create conflict, command focus, and keep the spotlight firmly on himself.
Tariffs.
The president made it clear yesterday this is not a negotiation.
Trump posted this morning, my policies will never change.
Well, that's it then. They're in it to win it. Full speed ahead. From the window to the walls. Skeet, 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 motherfuckers. Trump's policy will never, ever change.
This is CNN breaking news.
The president announcing just minutes ago that he's now, quote, authorized a 90-day pause on some of his new tariffs.
What?
Desi Lydic doesn't skip a beat as she shifts her focus to Melania, moving with ballerina-like grace, but striking with the impact of a wrecking ball. She portrays Melania as the embodiment of luxury mixed with emotional detachment, a designer illusion gliding through events while her mind seems to vacation on a private island far away. Her appearance is framed as a kind of polished armor, every outfit flawless, every posture perfect, yet completely disengaged from the chaos surrounding her. Desi's roast cuts sharply, likening her composure to someone standing next to a historical disaster, yet appearing bored enough to ask for the Wi-Fi password. Every subtle gesture, hand movements, fleeting expressions, and smiles becomes material, interpreted as either a secret attempt to escape or emotion delivered on contract. The result is a vivid, biting, and unforgettable depiction of someone impeccably styled yet entirely untouchable, both physically present and emotionally absent.
And the Gillen's Hall.
And Melania wasted no time doing the most patriotic thing she could do, plugging her movie.
The silver screen and I have been in deep conversation lately. You may have heard the news. I produced a new film with Amazon MGM named Melania, capturing my life, my business, my philanthropy, fostering the future, building my East Wing team, and of course, caring for my family.
It was the perfect speech with definitely the correct amount.
Desi Lydic masterfully threads her roast, shifting seamlessly between Trump and Melania like a skilled chef flipping ingredients in a sizzling pan. Every public appearance of Melania is portrayed as a silent cry to be anywhere else, as if her official job title were emotional support staff for Trump. Trump, in contrast, radiates the energy of a circus ringmaster desperate for applause and constant attention. The juxtaposition is striking. He thrives in chaos, soaking up every bit of recognition, while Melania retreats inward, filing invisible paperwork to request emotional time off. Desi builds a rhythm highlighting their extremes. Trump leans into cameras, claps for himself, and performs incessantly. Melania avoids eye contact, radiates distance, and seems determined to remain emotionally untouchable. The humor lands not because it exaggerates, but because it reflects a painfully accurate observation of their behaviors. Each movement, glance, and gesture is analyzed and amplified, showing Trump as the man who lives for attention and Melania as the woman who seems pasted into events against her will. The audience is captivated by the relentless contrast, a perfectly orchestrated comedy of contradictions that never misses a beat.
I don't think it's over. I'm still holding out a little hope that truth will come out and that, there could be the change here, but I don't know. If there's one thing I've learned from being at The Daily Show for over 10 years, it's that I have no idea what's going to happen. None of us really do.
We're in a very strange time where it's like there was such a different standard for what you could overlook in a public discourse.
We're also in a time where facts don't seem to matter. Everyone just has their own facts. Everyone in his cabinet, these media outlets, there's no such thing as fact.
The roast escalates into a masterclass of comedic precision. Trump paces the stage like a desperate director, demanding applause simply for existing, inflating his importance until he looms like a parade balloon over every event. Melania, in contrast, radiates emotional distance, forming an almost invisible shield around herself. Trump celebrates every minor action, insisting the world notice him, while Melania remains detached, as if she hasn't acknowledged a single achievement since 2007. He craves recognition for mere existence, She seeks enough space to deny even sharing the same physical presence.
Come on, Donald, use that Trump charm to put a ring on it.
It would really be a wonderful marriage because it's two places that get along very well. They like each other a lot.
Aww.
As you know from real estate, there are some places that are never for sale. And having met with the owners of Canada over the course of the campaign last several months, it's not for sale, won't be for sale ever.
But this was a clear rejection from Canada. I'm sure Trump will handle this maturely and not like a thirsty little.
Never say never. You know, Canada loves us and we love Canada.
Canada is not going to you.
Desi never misses a beat. Trump is transformed into an absurd caricature so extreme that late-night comedy writers could mine material from him for years without exhausting it. Every gesture, every exaggerated claim becomes a punchline. Melania, in contrast, becomes the embodiment of emotional detachment, wearing her distance like designer clothing, projecting an aura of deliberate separation from the chaos around her. Desi brilliantly sums it up. Trump is a reality show that accidentally wandered into politics, and Melania is an art piece that accidentally married into it. One thrives on chaos, constantly performing, treating every moment as a campaign event and demanding applause so loud it could wake the neighbors. The other survives by retreating, treating each moment like a hostage situation, her silence so powerful it might trigger actual noise complaints. There's no malice, only sharp, precise humor hitting its mark every time. As the roast reaches its climax, Trump chases attention like it's the last lifeboat on a sinking ship of relevance, while Melania radiates a quiet refusal to participate. Together, they create a public dynamic that feels almost scripted, a contrast of unstoppable extroversion against world-class introversion. The comedy lands flawlessly.
Between Trump and New York almost came to a head in 2011 when Trump committed what can only be considered a New York City war crime.
Trump and Palin shared a pizza for dinner, but using forks, not their hands.
Eating pizza with a fork. A fork. No real New Yorker does that.
Trump, what the fuck is wrong with you? This was the one time you should.
The final wave of jokes lands like the grand finale of a fireworks display, leaving the audience simultaneously exhilarated and breathless. Trump is stripped bare, reduced to a swaggering monument of self-promotion, each movement a desperate plea for attention. Melania, in stark contrast, is transformed into a marble statue of disinterest, occasionally shifting just enough to prove she is not entirely motionless. Trump craves notice from everyone, everywhere, while Melania silently demands solitude, projecting an aura that repels chaos. Trump struts as if he embodies fate itself. Melania seems to wonder how she woke up in an entirely wrong universe. There is no need for applause, exaggerated cheers, or validation from the crowd. Desi leaves the roast perfectly balanced, burnt, polished, and completely unbothered. Trump's ego is scattered, struggling to remember the last compliment he didn't give himself, while Melania's emotional wall remains firmly locked, impervious to the chaos around her. The roast becomes a universe of its own, memorable and untouchable, not because it alters history or demands recognition, but because sometimes the world needs someone to expose the chaos behind the mask using comedy. The aftermath hums with quiet intensity. There is no declared winner, only a wreckage of absurdity that stands with the strange elegance of a palace after ruin, infinitely more fascinating for its collapse.
I like you, Pope. That's the Pope I like.
That's the Pope. You're on my team.
Well, congrats on everything. I want to show a clip. Here's a Desi Lydic on The Daily Show. Take a look.
What is it with this guy and renaming gulfs? At least the Gulf of Mexico was on our border, but now he's just going around renaming other countries' water? The Gulf of Thailand is now the Gulf of White Lotus. The Indian Ocean is now the Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas Ocean. And the Black Sea we're just getting rid of, no more.
Then the roast shifts again, not to soften its edge, but to sharpen it even further, pulling back for a wide-angle view of the Trump-Melania dynamic. The comedy practically writes itself when you see how two completely opposite emotional engines power the same public partnership. Trump runs on self-promotion like it is liquid fuel, every action an assertion that the world revolves around him. Melania runs on cold, calculated distance, conserving energy, keeping her internal thermostat tuned to the exact opposite of excitement. Together, they form a strange, unintentional duo that somehow captivates and confounds at the same time. The roast zooms in on their public movements, contrasting them with surgical precision. Trump reaches for cameras with the devotion of a solar-powered superhero, convinced sunlight and attention recharge his very essence. Melania treats them like persistent insects, annoying, unavoidable, and to be tolerated only by social contract. Trump's gestures seem rehearsed for a global audition. Every wave, every posture, every smile screams, "Look at me," the world's central character. Melania's gestures, by contrast, are minimalist defensive maneuvers, a wave like brushing away a cloud of dread while carefully protecting a manicure. The juxtaposition is both hilarious and painfully revealing, a masterclass in how absurdly different human energy sources can coexist under the public eye.
That's right. Not that long ago, Trump wanted to bang New York right in the Holland Tunnel. Sure, it wasn't a perfect relationship. There was the time in the 80s when Trump tried to evict his rent-controlled tenants. Then there was the time he wrote a letter to the mayor complaining that hot dog vendors were, I shit you not, splattering ketchup and mustard on the sidewalk. To be fair, it was a travesty. Sidewalks are a sacred space where...
Then Desi digs into their opposite. Trump's habits are impossible to ignore. He interrupts everything, using sheer volume as punctuation and exaggeration as his primary source of air. Every interaction, every room, every moment is a rally in his mind. Melania, by contrast, barely speaks, barely moves, and seems only half present, as though she has turned emotional minimalism into a full-time practice. In her world, every grandiose spectacle feels like jury duty. Desi Lydic hones in on this strange public balance. Trump fills quiet with noise. Melania fills noise with quiet. He demands eye contact. She treats it like a misdemeanor. Trump brags as if a yearly championship exists solely to honor him. Melania frowns as if she receives payment for every second of displeasure captured by the cameras. Every outfit exaggerates their differences. Trump dresses like a superhero disguised as a businessman, demanding attention and projecting authority. Melania dresses flawless, elegant, and untouchable, signaling luxury, while refusing to engage with the chaos surrounding her. Their lifestyle contrast elevates the comedy. Trump wants gold, giant chandeliers, and his name everywhere. Melania prefers marble floors, serene expressions, and spaces that quietly communicate power and wealth without ever shouting for recognition. Together, they form a public spectacle of extremes, the loud and the silent, each amplifying the other in a bizarrely mesmerizing dance of ego and detachment.
Trump didn't bring everybody into the Oval Office just to sell hats. He was there to sell something much more fancy.
We're going to be selling a gold card. You have a green card. This is a gold card. We're going to be putting a price on that card of about $5 million, and that's going to give you green card privileges plus.
Oh, green card privileges plus. See, I was still getting America with ads. Quick question. Quick question. If I'm unhappy with America, can I cancel my subscription after 7 days?
The roast goes far beyond surface-level jokes, diving deep into the psychology behind their public behavior rather than simply attacking them as people. That's why it lands with such force. Every action, every gesture, becomes absurd when clearly laid out. Trump is constantly chasing approval, hoarding compliments like a dragon guards treasure. Melania, by contrast, searches for escape routes, moving like a cat trapped at a chaotic children's party. Trump thrives in chaos, leaning into noise, spectacle, and the frenzy he creates. Melania thrives in the exact opposite, acting as if the chaos doesn't exist, preserving calm and detachment at all costs. Desi paints them in cinematic contrast. Trump performs at every event as if it were a stadium concert built entirely around him. Lights, cameras, applause, all for him. Melania stands beside him, projecting the energy of someone who wandered onto the wrong set and refuses to admit it. The comedy builds gradually, not with one crushing line, but through meticulous observation that exposes their extremes. Trump is the fireworks finale, chaotic and impossible to ignore. Melania is a quietly closing art gallery, distant and serene. Trump blares like a neon sign open 24 hours. Melania embodies noise-canceling headphones, unimpressed by the world. The genius of the roast is that it is never cruel. Satire arises from truth and precise observation. Trump becomes a monument to noise, clinging to fame like a life jacket. Melania becomes a monument to disconnection, holding onto emotional distance like a safety blanket. The final image requires no commentary. Trump waves to imagined crowds. Melania drifts through the moment. Together, their contrast creates the real spectacle, perfectly captured by the roast's sharp lens. It is destructive, poetic, and unforgettable.